Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Vingha दैत्यदानवभञ्जना अभद्रो महाभद्रो बलभद्रो सुभद्रका कालो विकरालश्च विकर्ता सर्वकर्त्रका लोकात्मा ईशा सर्वेश्वरो विभुः जय नरसिंह जय जय नरसिंहदेव प्रलये जय पद्म का पद्म लिंग जय नरसिंह प्रहलादेश जय का पद्म
महाराज की जय प्रभु करा प्रभु करा प्रभु करा जय प्रभु करा जय प्रभु करा जय प्रभु करा प्रभु करा शिला प्रभु करा
Jai. Jai.
Bhakti Siddhanta Svarita Koki, Guru Parampara ki, Namacharya Shilharata Koki, Prem Shigaho, Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Radha, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Viniki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopina, Ram Sundarari Kanigiri Gauram ki, Vrindavan ki, Maturam ki, Jagannath Puri ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Gaur Premananda, Glory to thee, Glory to thee, Glory to thee, Glory to Shri Guru and Shri Guru. The lotus feet of our spiritual masters, the underwood machine, to take care of the worship service. We bow to the lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By His grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and attain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified with the word emanating from His lotus mouth. Attachment to His lotus feet is perfection of the lotus mouth. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our heart with transcendence. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From Him ecstatic renunciation, by Him ignorance is disturbed. The Vedic scripture sings of His terror. By spiritual masters, the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor and Lord and masters of the Lord. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your famous that all the three worlds can take shelter of your lotus feet. And Baba ki.
Bhakti Shastri. They have Bhakti Shastri?
In Bhakti Shastri class story also.
Yes, there's Bhakti Shastra going on so many things since I know. So we're singing Yashamati Nandama. I don't know which day is it. You want to do it?
Yashamati Nandana Vrajavarana Gara Gokula Janakana
Yasomati Nandana Vrajavarana Gara Gokula Janakana.
Yashamati Nandana Vrajavarana Gara Gokula
Yasomati Nandana Vrajavarana Gara Gokula Janakana. Amala
Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Vraja, the delight of Gokula, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of the lives of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. This pure, holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Vraja. He is ever youthful and is the best of lovers. He is always playing on the flute, and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Vraja, the destroyer of the various demoniac dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaj cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the butter thief, the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Jamuna. He stole the garments of the young damsels of Raja who are bathing there. He delights in the mellows of the rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakur Bhaktivinoda.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki.
Jai.
So with it, we're advised by the Christians and Muslims and Jews that we should love God. But without having a picture of God, how can we love Him? So here's the picture. From different angles we see Bhaktivinoda is describing for us. What does Krishna look like? What he's doing? What inspires him and so on. He's not a dead stone. He's not just energy or light without any feelings. The Jews also, the Christians and the Muslims, like the Muslims say that Allah is the most compassionate one. So that's a personal conception. Only a person can be compassionate, right? Energy is not compassion, they're just burning, or fire, or light. But a person can be compassionate. But how is he compassionate? That they don't have information. If we'll probably give the example of the pocket dictionary compared to the huge unabridged dictionary in the many volumes. They're so big you can't carry them, they're only in the library. So something like that. We have so much information from those who have met God, they can give it information. Those who have heard from God, and when God is Himself speaking, like Bhagavad Gita. So in this way we have vast quantities of literature describing the Lord and His activities. And so we can fix our mind. We have something to love, a person with feelings. He has feelings. And he has likes and dislikes. So in this way, we can please him. Otherwise, it's just a mechanical thing. Yes, Allah Akbar, and then they're doing all nonsense in the name of Allah. Some may be sincere, and therefore Prabhupada didn't condemn them. He could appreciate that there was some reform there that Muhammad established to get them to say prayers 3 times a day, to not have sex with their mothers. That's one of the injunctions in the Quran. You shouldn't have sex with your mother. So we can understand what kind of people they were in that part of the world. They were very violent and the same with the Christians. What did they do to Christ? So our culture is coming from India, is more peaceful, more advanced culture. And Krishna could explain more. Christ also said, I have more to tell you, but you don't have the ears to hear. My Father has many mansions, or many rooms in his mansion. So he wasn't, but the followers become fanatical. That's the problem. And we saw that he became into ISKCON a little bit. In Prabhupada's time, I remember there was one party, they had a special feature that they had midnight sankirtan. What is that? They would go out at midnight and steal. And their philosophy was, well, everything belongs to Krishna, we're just getting it back into Krishna's service. But Prabhupada was very upset when he heard about it. No, we shouldn't. We were just reading yesterday, constitutional and
Conditional.
Conditional. So conditional laws we have to follow. We have to drive on the right when we go on the street with our car. We can't say, no, I'm from India, so we drive on the left. We have to follow the law. This is conditional. Constitutional position is that we're serving Krishna. We should have to serve him in every chain. We should accept everything favorable for our devotional service and reject everything unfavorable. This is the constitutional position of the humanity. And we can exercise that constitutional position even here in the material world. Okay? Any comments, questions? Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Hey Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Vrijana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Jnanatimirandasya Janaganasalakaya Tatturishmiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovisam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Upakadamaya Jadati Saparantinam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatavadakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sarvatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Swajivam Sarvaitam Sarvarutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamista He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopishta Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tata Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavane Vishwabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tirubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vaivasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We have the verse?
Yes.
473.
3?
473.
Okay. Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Bhavataja Mukam Shiraha.
Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Bhavataja Mukam Shiraha.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta. Shishta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe
Bhagam Swam Variso Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Variso Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Prajapatir Dagdat Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Bharatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Bharatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Bhagam Swam Variso Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Bhagam Swam Variso Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Prajapatir Dagda Shirshno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Bhavatvaja Mukham Shiraha.
Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha.
Mitrasya Chakshushe Ksheta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Bhagam Swam Barhisho Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Mataji's.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno. Bhavatvaja Mukam Shiraha. Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta. Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Prajapatir Dagda Shishno.
Bhavataja Mukam Shiraha.
Bhavataja Mukam Shiraha.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Vitrasya Chakshushe Sheta.
Bhagam Swam Varisho Bhagaha.
Bhagam Swam Bhagaha.
Prajapate.
Prajapatir.
The Prajapati Daksha.
Of Prajapati Daksha.
Dagda Shishnaha.
Dagda Shishnaha.
Whose head had been burned to ashes.
Whose head has been burned to ashes.
Bhavatu.
Bhavatu.
Let there be.
Let there be.
Ajamukam.
Ajamukam.
With the face of a goat.
With the face of a goat.
Shiraha.
Shiraha.
A head.
A head.
Vitrasya.
Vitrasya.
Of Mitra.
Of Mitra.
Chaksusa.
Chakshusha.
To the eyes.
To the eyes.
Iksheta.
Iksheta.
May see.
May see.
Bhagam.
Bhagam.
Share.
Share.
Swam.
Swam.
His own.
His own.
Varishaha.
Varishaha.
Of the sacrifice.
Of the sacrifice.
Bhagaha.
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 Translation and note of it. Translation. Srila Prabhupada. But Shiva continued, since the head of Daksha has already been burnt to ashes, he will have the head of a goat. The demigods, known as Bhaga, will be able to see his share of sacrifice through the eyes of Mitra. Next verse. Vasutu Yajyamanasya Dabir Jaksa Satu Vistabuk Deva Prakrite Swaganga Yema Uchishtanam Dadu. Translation. The demigod Pasu will be able to chew only through the teeth of his disciples, and if alone, he will have to satisfy himself by eating dough made from chickpea flour. But the demigods who have agreed to give me my share of their sacrifice will recover from all their injuries. Report to Srila Prabhupada. The demigod Pusa became dependent on his disciples for chewing, otherwise he was allowed to swallow only dough made of chickpea flour. Thus his punishment continued. He could not use his teeth for eating, since he had laughed at Lord Shiva, deriding him by showing his teeth. In other words, it was not appropriate for him to have teeth where he had used them against Shiva. Next verse. Bahubhyam ashtino punsno astavyam krita bhavaha bhavaha bhavantyandayas chanye vasta smashru vihu bhavet. Translation. Those who have had their arms cut off will have to work with the arms of Ashwini Kumar, and those whose hands were cut off will have to do their work with the hands of Pusha. The priests who have to act in that manner. The priests who have to act in that manner. As for Brigu, he will have the beard from the goat's head. Report. Brigu Muni, a great supporter of Daksha, was awarded the beard of a goat's head, which was substituted for the head of Daksha. It appears from the exchange of Daksha's head that the modern scientific theory that the brain substance is the cause of all intelligent work is not valid. The brain substance of Daksha and that of a goat are different, but Daksha still acted like himself, even though his head was replaced by that of a goat. The conclusion is that it is the particular consciousness of an individual soul which acts. The brain substance is only an instrument, which has nothing to do with real intelligence. The real intelligence, mind, and consciousness are part of the particular individual soul. It will be found in verses ahead that after Daksha's head was replaced by the goat's head, he was as intelligent as he had previously been. He prayed very nicely to satisfy Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, which is not possible for a goat to do. Therefore, it is definitely concluded that the brain substance is not the center of intelligence. It is the consciousness of a particular soul that works intelligently. The whole movement of Krishna consciousness is to purify the consciousness. It doesn't matter what kind of brain one has, because if he simply transfers his consciousness from matter to spirit, his life becomes successful. It is confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness achieves the highest perfection of life, regardless of whatever abominable condition of life he may have fallen into. Specifically, anyone in Krishna consciousness goes back to Godhead, back to home, on leaving his present material body. So here, getting a lesson on consciousness. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So we're the soul, and we have consciousness. But if our consciousness develops, then it won't just disappear because we lose the body. The soul is different than the body. But this is why Daksha acted like before, because his consciousness, the soul, was still the same. Similarly, with Bharat Maharaj, we're going to read later in this chapter. Bharat Maharaj, because he was attached to a deer, he became a deer in this next life. But because his consciousness had developed, he was in highly advanced Krishna consciousness. So in the deer body, he knew his past. He knew what he was. He didn't act like a deer. No, he came and associated with saintly people because he was advanced in his consciousness. So again, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So if we have advanced consciousness, that can't be taken away. What other examples? Just like Dhruva Maharaj. No, was it Dhruva Maharaj or was it no? Who was it? Got the lessons from Narada Muni in the womb of his mother.
Prahlad.
Prahlad. Thank you. There you see him. So his consciousness was very highly developed, even as a child. He was fully Krishna conscious, and so he could teach the children and speak to them very intelligently and with philosophy. And he wasn't interested in the learning that the teachers were giving. What were they? Ambedkar and
Shanda.
yeah, they were. He didn't like what they were preaching. They were preaching friends and enemies. This is the material world. There's always friends and enemies. But he was above the material world. From his birth. He didn't go to school or something. No, he learned everything in the womb of his mother. So, the point is, again, if we develop advanced Krishna consciousness, then we're very fortunate. And as Prabhupada is saying, we can go back home, back to Godhead. So this should be our goal. We get off the bodily platform, we get off the mental platform, come to the spiritual platform, meditate on Krishna, and chant His holy name. Hear the pastimes of the Lord and the devotees. Now we're learning about Lord Shiva. So we have to give full respect to Lord Shiva. Still, we don't worship Him the same way we do Lord Krishna, because He's not exactly Vishnu Tattva. He has his own tattva, but still very advanced. We should offer full respect to him. And his teachings are good also in some ways, that he teaches us. Like Parvati asked Lord Shiva, what is the best kind of worship? And Lord Shiva says, worship of Vishnu is the best. And then he further qualifies. He says, even better than the worship of Vishnu is what?
Devotee of Vishnu.
The worship of the Vaishnava. So therefore, we want to keep Prabhupada in the center. That was a mistake that was made. When Prabhupada left the planet, instead of keeping him in the center, the gurus, many of them, thought they were on the same level as Prabhupada. Guru is one. That was their philosophy. But no, Guru is not one. So the Mahabhagavad Guru, he comes down from the first class state for preaching. That's Prabhupada's position. And we're coming up from the third class position, trying to be steady in the second class. That's not so easy either. Second class, the devotee doesn't fall down. So they were Kanistas, but they thought they were Mahabhagavad. First class. So naturally, there's going to be some problem. So we have to understand what is our adhikar, what is our actual position. We can't cheat. If we cheat ourselves, then who can help us? We have to be honest about our position. Then we can deal with everybody properly. Someone is more advanced, we offer them respect, we hear from them. Someone is equal with us, we make friends, exchange gifts, and so on. Someone is less advanced, we show mercy. Like Ramachandra Puri. He thought he was more advanced than Lord Chaitanya, because he was the godbrother of Ishtar Puri, Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master. So in that relationship, he was senior. But who could be more advanced than Lord Chaitanya? So he started criticizing Lord Chaitanya. And therefore, he became more and more degraded. So we have to know what is our adhikar. We have to be honest. Are we pure devotees? No. Therefore, we shouldn't imitate the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada could do so many things that we can't do. He told us at the end how he dealt with his disciples. So he said, "What preaching I have done, but now they all should be ideal, acharya-like." He was talking about the GBC members, or sannyasis and so on, advanced devotees. Prabhupada was personally helping them. And we can't imitate that in the same way. And Prabhupada could maintain somebody, even if they were having problems. That reminds me of one story in Hong Kong. One devotee was having problems. It was only 7 or 8 men, and this devotee came from the Philippines with a few other devotees. And so Prabhupada was encouraging him. Prabhupada could do that. He was encouraging him to make him feel happy. He saw that he was a little bit morose because he was breaking principles. But Prabhupada's way of dealing with him was not just to get angry with him or something, but to encourage him. And how he was encouraging him was to have him relate to us, all of us there, that how his difficult time in Mayapur, the first year, 1972, before there was any buildings, we had bought the land and there was one kutir there. If you've been to Mayapur, you know when you come in the property on the left side, the kutir is there. So that was the only building. And that year there was a flood. So he was telling, probably knew that, so he was telling us, yeah, we were living in the rafters, like here there's some big rafters, there was somehow living on the ceiling, and the water was coming up, and there were snakes in the water, and he was relating that to us, 7 or 8 people and Prabhupada. And we were appreciating, we smiled. Then Prabhupada turned to me, what was your most difficult time in Krishna consciousness? He asked me. And I was down when we were in Tokyo, we had a big house, but there was no central heating. We had a kerosene burner, but the house was so big you couldn't keep the house warm. It was like a barn almost. And the only way to be warm, you could stand in front of it, your front would get warm, but your back would be cold. You had to turn. So I was telling the story like that, and always appreciate it. So then I thought, they asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, what was your most difficult time? So we were all smiling, but when I asked that question, the whole mood changed. Prabhupada became as grave as a heart attack. He was just, and then he spoke in a very sober voice, and he said, you don't want to know about that. It wasn't, you couldn't laugh. It wasn't. I mean, if you were there, you wouldn't laugh. Because Prabhupada was so serious. And I remember thinking, the good thing he didn't tell us, just like hearing about it would have killed him. So we think we've done some austerity a little bit with what Prabhupada had to see. He couldn't even tell us. So many difficulties, coming on the boat, seasickness, heart attack, his brothers preaching against them, and so on. But he persevered and established his movement. So we should always remember Prabhupada's position is unique. He's Shaktadesh. He's empowered by Lord Nityananda to spread this mission. And we should follow in his footsteps, not try to imitate his exalted position. Okay, any questions?
On the topic of Guru, you said Guru is one, but I mean, we hear these two statements, Guru is
No,
one.
we don't accept that. We don't accept Guru as one.
But in the sense of
There's
instruction,
Vittamadhika Guru, there's Madhyamadhika, and sometimes even Kanista can initiate. But we don't say Guru is one. Some are more advanced than others.
I don't mean in an external sense, but like in the sense of instructions. As you said that we get instructions either through a devotee or anybody, then it's like Guru is speaking through everyone. So is Guru one in that sense?
And tell me the sense again.
Like if we're hearing maybe instructions either from other Vaishnavas or
There's one section in the Bhagavatam.
24 Gurus.
There's have 11 gurus, right? 24. So what's the point? And you can take instruction even from a prostitute. If they tell you Calcutta is in Bengal, you didn't know that, then you get knowledge from them. You can take gold from a dirty place. But Guru is one who formally initiates. In that sense. So the sense of Guru, the Guru is someone who helps us in spiritual life. But then we also call him Sadhu. Guru is more relating to someone who initiates. And then you have a form of connection. So they're not one. There's a Diksha Guru, the Shiksha Guru, they're different. So it's kind of misleading to say Guru is one. But that's what they were telling. And then they were imitating. Like one of the big gurus, or not, did I say that? I don't know, he was saying, I didn't have to become guru, probably made me guru. Everybody knows guru is perfect. So whatever I do is perfect. And then he told on. Because he had that mentality that he was perfect. And he could do anything and it was perfect. And then he, he became grossly embedded in the material conception of life, duality of sex life. So we should go slowly, that's the idea. We should consider ourselves students. And Prabhupada was like that. He was always thinking that he was a disciple, first and foremost. He wasn't a big guru. He was thinking, I'm a disciple. I'm a follower of Krishna. I'm a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's how he thought of himself. Therefore, he could be humble in all circumstances. He was humble. Even he was getting angry. That was doing that to benefit the people. Sometimes he didn't get angry. Just like I tell the story about Aikeshu. There, he was 7 people came into Prabhupada's room in South India and they started not cursing him fully, but criticizing him. Who are you that you think you can make Brahmins from the lecture class? But Prabhupada just tolerated. He didn't say anything. Didn't get angry. He just ignored them and smiled. And then after a few minutes, they saw they weren't getting anywhere, so they got up and left. So sometimes he was angry, but generally he was angry when he thought the person could be improved. Otherwise he wouldn't waste anger. He became indifferent. Like he told some disciples, actually you don't need a guru, you're very advanced. He just became uninvolved with them. But sometimes his anger, I can tell you one story. He probably was angry. We were preaching in Buffalo, New York. And there were 2 big universities there. One was the State College on one side of town, and we were at the university on the other side, University of Buffalo. So Prabhupada came, and the temple was there at the University of Buffalo, a small house we had near the campus. So Prabhupada stayed close by, and he came to the temple and so on. And we did programs on the campus. And then we had a program at the other side of town, at the other university. So at that program, it was general, where Prabhupada would start with Kirtan, and we all joined in. And then Jayam prayers, and then Prabhupada gave class. So after Prabhupada gave class, he asked if there's any question. So this one boy, his name was Peter, he was sitting to my left and behind me. I never met him before because he was from that side of town. And his question was, he made fun of the devotees, how they paid obeisances. Jaya Vishnu God and Paramahansa was saying we had our head down and we would Jaya like that. So he made fun of that and he said, what does this mean when everybody puts their head on the ground and go blah, 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 blah. He was ridiculing the devotees, saying, their mantra to Prabhupada. Ma Om Shivaraya Krishna Vishnu. So, when this boy spoke like that, I don't know exactly what Prabhupada said, but I felt a jolt or a bolt of energy go over my left shoulder right into this boy. Prabhupada was red hot, angry with him. So the next day, in the morning, after the morning class, I look out the window of our temple there, and this boy is standing across the street. And he's like looking at the building, the small temple we had, and he could see, he was thinking, you could read his mind. He was thinking, what the hell hit me last night? And what was that? And then, of course, he met the devotees, and he became initiated, and he did so much work. He started this Krishna Institute. So many books he was presenting. His name was Krishna Prata. He left his body now, but he did a lot of service. And why? How is it? Because Prabhupada gave him energy. Prabhupada blasted him. If Prabhupada didn't care about, somebody asked a stupid question, he wouldn't, and he thought into it. He just said, that's not a good question. So that's a good sign. If the Guru is still angry with you, that means he hasn't given up on you. So Prabhupada was angry with me a few times. So he hasn't given up on me, I hope. Okay, any other points? There's an important point about consciousness. Consciousness is the center of the soul. So that consciousness, they can't be taken away from us. If we do 20% Krishna consciousness, they'll remain with us. Therefore, we say this process is all is auspicious. It benefits everyone who touches it. Even unknowingly, we do Kyata Sikriti. Like we were in Hong Kong, and Prabhupada came. We didn't have room in the temple, we just had an apartment. And so Prabhupada stayed in a Hotel Hilton. Some Indian man had donated for a fancy room, presidential suite or something in the hotel. So when the car came from the airport with Prabhupada, we were in the car behind Prabhupada. So we could sure Prabhupada pulled up to the front of the reception there. And there was a man whose job was to open doors and invite people. So this man, he opened the door of the car for Prabhupada, helped him with his arm to go to the curb. And I was behind, I was thinking, wow, this guy really hit the jackpot. But, you're pulling the slot machine, and you get all the thing, and you get $1 million. He opening so many doors, and then he opened the door for the pure devotee. But therefore, he gets the credit. He unknowingly, but because it was a pure devotee, he helped him with took his arm, touched his body, brought him to the curb. That person gets a big credit there. And if again, maybe by now, he's met some devotees in the next life. This is how it works. Devotional service is all auspicious, spiritually auspicious, not the auspiciousness that changes into inauspiciousness. But that remains with you. That credit remains with you eternally. So that's the point that's being made here, that you do something for Krishna and he won't forget you. Okay, any other?
I have two questions. One question is...
Let's do one at a time.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, the first one is, what were your 3 greatest experiences in Krishna consciousness that you would like to share with us?
3?
Yes.
That's 3 questions. Right. Okay, I'll try to think. Like that was, that made a big impression on me, right? Okay, the first impression, when I first met Prabhupada for the first time, my godbrother Burjan introduced me to Prabhupada at 22nd Avenue. It was 1968, summer of 1968. And Prabhupada was staying in an apartment behind the temple. So he brought me there. And when I came into the room, was thinking, because I had heard about Prabhupada's story, all his disciples, but here he was just sitting behind a little desk on the floor. I think he had a aluminum trunk he was using for a desk. There was nobody at the door. It wasn't a very good neighborhood. Anybody could walk in. And I was thinking, wow, why this person is? And then when he started speaking, I was introduced, and I hadn't said anything, hadn't done anything. Prabhupada said, thank you very much. So I was very impressed that he was so, outgoing. He was like throwing a big net, bringing everybody, encouraging everybody. That was one incident. Then, 3 incidents like that. Yeah. We were in London, and I had been giving massage every day, with a few exceptions. And I had been asking Prabhupada if I could go with him when he left. He was coming to the point where he was going to leave in a few days. And his servant came to me and said, stop bothering Prabhupada about going to Boston. That's where they were going next. Because a Pandya written to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada has agreed that he can be the one who gives massage when he comes to Boston. So later in the day, I was driving Prabhupada. He was sitting next to me. And London, it's on this side, And Prabhupada was sitting there, and I said to Srila Prabhupada, Purushottam, his servant, Purushottam told me that Upendra is going to be giving you massage when you come to America. So he knew I wanted to have that service. So he responded to me in silence. Dead silence. And then I thought, so it must be true, otherwise. But then in my mind, I accepted it. And, I was resigned, okay, I'm not going to Prabhupada, and I'm going to be here. But still, the silence was there. So I thought how I can break the silence so it would be more natural. So I said to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I never met Upendra. Is he a nice boy? Just to change the subject. And let Prabhupada know that I was resigned not to go. Not to go with him. And so when I said that, Prabhupada turned to me in the van, I think we had, and he looked at me and spoke very intimately. He said, not as nice as you. Right into my heart. I thought, Prabhupada loves me. And he did. He did. He loved everybody, really. It wasn't artificial. He loved us. And little spark, he fanned it. Once, Harisari said to God, Prabhupada, everybody loves you so much. And Prabhupada said, that's because I love everybody. In other words, he saw the spirit. He saw that you were part of Lord Krishna. Prabhupada feed. Then third one. Must be something in London. This was. I was massaging, and the process of massage, we would start with the head, and we use sandalwood oil. Our Prabhupada taught us, and then the body was mustard seed oil. So generally we'd end at his feet. And he would be resting a little bit. He was kind of dozing, and I had finished the massage, and I took his 2 feet and put them on my chest. And when Prabhupada opened his eyes and saw what I had done, he was, his first reaction, he was a little shy and embarrassed even that I was glorifying him so. Because it is a sign of submission. But then I had his feet on my chest, and I was looking in his eyes, and then he changed, he accepted it. And then his eyes got brighter and brighter and brighter, and I had to look away. He was too much for me, I couldn't digest it. It was so bright. So that was a pretty interesting experience. Okay? There was another question.
Maybe like same impression. Maybe same impression. Sorry. No, I'll try. Maybe like similar impressions but without the physical presence of Srila Prabhupada. Like either his presence in Vanu or your own personal experience.
Okay, I'll tell a story about another person's experience with Prabhupada. Now this is interesting. We were preaching in Belarusia, Minsk, Belarusia. Sunday morning, a lot of people came. They come on Sunday mornings, at least at that time. And maybe 200 people. So I gave class, and then after class, I just got the inspiration to ask them, have any of you had dreams of Prabhupada? Maybe 40, 50 people raised their arm. Wow. These people never met Prabhupada. So I asked this first boy, I said, you had a dream about, what was your dream? So he told me, he said, I was a disciple of Harikesh, and when Harikesh fell down, I really became hopeless. I thought, he's so much more advanced than me, and he couldn't remain Krishna conscious, and for me it's hopeless. And it's like, why even try? Like he was thinking like that. And so in that mood he took rest. And in the dream, in his rest, the dream came, and Prabhupada was there, and he said, why you say hopeless? I am here. He woke up out of the dream. Said, wow, Prabhupada came to me. And since then he's been a good devotee. So if you really need Prabhupada, he'll reciprocate. We generally don't have to want to bother Prabhupada with all our little problems. But if there's something serious like this, and you pray to Prabhupada, he'll reciprocate. He helped me like that too, since he left the Prabhupada. He's helped me like that. Okay? Anybody else? Any of you have had dreams? Go ahead, you can question anything.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. What is your vision of the near future of ISKCON?
Near future of ISKCON.
What is your
Future.
vision?
That depends on us still. I think the jury is out. We haven't settled the issue whether we're going to remain united. If we remain united, then nobody can check us. But Prabhupada said, from the danger will come from within. And I see there's already danger from within. ISKCON East, ISKCON West, something like that. Yeah, it's not of that. Like on this issue of women being Diksha Gurus, it could split the movement in two. So, that, I think we have to pass that test. Prabhupada wasn't 100% sure that this movement would continue, therefore he made BBT. And even if the movement stopped, the books will be there. The books will be independent of the temples. The BBT trustees are the ones who decide who to distribute, how many books to sell, what books to print. So like I say, I'm not sure. They passed a resolution that women couldn't become guru, but then there was so much upheaval on that side that they put it on hold. They said we're going to do it again in 3 years. That was 1 year ago. So in 2 years, again the issue is going to come. And I I don't know how it's going to turn out. What do you think? How do you vote? You're a thoughtful person. Should we allow women to initiate and give shigurus and this kind? It's an issue that big devotees on both sides. What's your vote?
My opinion about this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to make a statement because, as you said, it's from two sides. I think we have more and more women in the movement, and they need to take shelter on one side. So initiating, I don't know. I think there's no.
Okay, that's right. You don't know. Most people don't know. But somebody has to make a decision. It's coming in the GBC. You don't have a vote in the GBC, so it doesn't really matter that much what your opinion is. And it's clear that you're not fixed in your opinion.
Yeah, because who am I?
Yeah, okay, so then
That's the opinion.
put the microphone down. Who are you? Why are you talking? I'm trying to answer your question. You asked me, what do I think is the future? And I think, I'm not sure. That's my answer. Any other questions? Yeah.
Maharaj, you were one of the first sannyas disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And my question is, how did it happen? Like, it was planned in advance, and how was the initiation ceremony, and also your experience after that as a sannyasi?
It was in 1971, and Prabhupada wasn't so happy with the Grihastas preaching. Like he sent the couples to London, but they couldn't do it. And they opened it, everything. They were successful in one sense. But after a few months, they wanted Tamal to come and be the president. They didn't. And Mukunda was then president. His wife looped, and Gurudas and Yamuna, they didn't really work together. And so he wanted to, and he thought the only way I could get this movement spread all over the world was to make sannyasis and send them out. And because he knew his health wasn't so good, there's danger he could die, and he wanted to have the international society established before he left the planet. So he was asking in 71. So he asked me, would I like to take sannyas? I said, well, brother, I don't know if I'm qualified. I had just read an article about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He took sannyas when he was 45. So at that time I was 29. So I was thinking, I can take sannyas. So I said, I don't know if I'm qualified for your problem. Then he looked at me, it was two of us who were close. Did you want to get married? I said, no, sir. Then you can take sannyas. And so I took sannyas. And then the ceremony was there. Another devotee also asked Prabhupada, because he heard I was going to be sannyas initiated, he asked Prabhupada if he could also do it, and Prabhupada declined. I have photos of the ceremony. I think there might be something in my book, right? Yes. He's getting my book out. There's some photo of me taking sannyas. Okay, anyone else? We'll stop here. Okay, one.
Yeah, Prabhupada gave so much power and empowerment to young people.
Yeah.
And he used his young energy.
That's right.
So sometimes we're missing young energy nowadays.
Yeah, we can use any kind of energy, young, old. We have to be enthusiastic. If old people are enthusiastic, but youth is generally people are enthusiastic. So we're happy to see new devotees coming enthusiastically, taking up the practice. There's plenty of room in Krishna's feet. We don't feel envious that somebody is doing nicely on the other side of the world or something. I was just in India. I was very impressed at the preaching there. Good. We want ISKCON to flourish. Good. Then we'll stop. Anything from the ladies' side? And you're not angry that you can't become sannyas?
But
You can be more than sannyas. And the Prabhupada said that's, if you're fully engaged, that's sannyas. Yes, Mataji.
just one comment. Srila Prabhupada, when he spoke about women taking sannyas, whether the women are qualified, he said yes, but not many. Which
No,
means
no,
That is Guru.
that was for Guru, not for sannyas. Prabhupada was very clear. He was asked, he said, no, women cannot take sannyas.
okay, yeah, my bad, but initiating gurus.
Initiating, that's
Right,
another
but
issue.
not many, so which means that it shouldn't be like the gate is open and it's flooded, right? There's only,
Yeah.
you know, that's just.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna open the gate. You know, there's not gonna be affirmative action from the female side and the GBC will be convinced. I'm hoping personally, my opinion is that we should have a few women as initiating spiritual masters.
Maharaj, we have something online. We have a question online. Would you like to say it?
Okay?
Okay. It's from Akira Prabhu.
Who?
Akira Prabhu. Prabhupada's disciple, our most senior devotee here in Simhachalam. But unfortunately his health is not so good, so he's watching on the live stream. So it's one question and one comment. Okay, the question is, Prabhupada asked you to listen written in capital letters while chanting, referring to what you said yesterday.
Yeah.
But listen intently, with a question mark.
Listen with empathy?
No, intently, I don't know.
Intentionally you should listen.
Intently, with, yeah.
Intensely or?
I'm just reading what's here written.
Yeah.
Intently. I mean, maybe he misheard you yesterday or something, but maybe you could repeat what did Prabhupada tell you exactly, and
The exact words he used was, you have to listen very carefully.
So could you please speak on that?
You have to listen very carefully, because this chanting is the whole essence of our philosophy. So it's very clear what the word carefully means. You do it with attention. Therefore, the 11th offense is to be inattentive. And it's mentioned that all the other offenses, inattention comes into it also. So attention, careful listening is the key. You have to listen carefully to each syllable. Like Rupa Goswami, he prays for millions of tongues to hear these, to vibrate these two syllables, Krishna, and millions of ears to hear these two syllables, Krishna. And when I hear very attentively, I feel Krishna's dancing on my tongue. Rupa Goswami. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of the word. Okay? Bhagavatam ki,
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai. Vikram Maharaj.
Ki